One's title battle between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen has taken an amazing twist at the Brazilian Grand Prix, with both drivers currently under stewards' investigation. A series of remarkable events immediately after qualifying has left the paddock on tenterhooks as it awaits to see if either the Mercedes or the Red Bull driver will be punished. On Hamilton's side, his Mercedes is being investigated for alleged rules breach with his DRS system, while Verstappen has been answered to summon accusations on touching his rival's rear wing illegally. Both incidents are likely to be treated very seriously, and amid an incredibly close title fight, the stewards' decision will have huge implications. Early on Friday evening, the FIA's technical delegate Joe Bauer sent a note to the stewards saying he believed Hamilton's rear wing was not in compliance with the rules. In the note, Bauer wrote the requirement for the minimum distance was fulfilled, with a requirement for the maximum of 85mm when the DRS system is deployed and tested in accordance with TD 011-19 were not fulfilled. The issue here is the gap between the two wing flaps elements that make the DRS concept. Article 3.6.3 of F1's tech regulations covers the area and makes it clear that the wing is in a closed position. The gap must be around 10 to 15mm. However, when the flap is open, the DRS is in the position in which it is used for overtaking the race, where then the distance must be between 10mm and 85mm. In effect, that means that there must be a maximum distance of 85mm between the two flaps when the DRS is open. Any gap bigger than is illegal, and it could offer extra straight line speed boost. Obviously, it's impossible for the FIA to check the distance between the DRS and the wing elements when the car is out on track. However, procedure has been laid in for the inspection to take place in Parc Fermé after the sessions when the car is stationary. It's understood that said article covers how this is done and relates to a special DRS probe which the FIA uses to ensure compliance. The small 85mm wide disc is on the end of a stick, and with the DRS activated on the car in the pit lane, it's pushed through the gap between the wing elements. A version of this probe is on Aston Martin's YouTube channel, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. If the gap is between the wing elements greater than 85mm, then the probe will go through the wing gap and the FIA will deem the car illegal. Observers on the pit wall at Interlagos on Friday night noticed the FIA conducted a lengthy examination with its probe, as Bauer captured the images on his phone showing an FIA colleague pushing the probe through the gap. Mercedes have not spoken publicly yet about what happened to the rear wing, but it certainly appears that there's a load of weird consequences. At 10 p.m. at Interlagos on Friday night, following several hours of deliberation, the stewards decided to adjourn their hearing until tomorrow morning, or today now. A standard technical regulation rule breach, such as car being underweight or a wing element being too big, would normally be an automatic disqualification. Instead, the stewards asked for Hamilton's rear wing to be impounded and put under seal for further investigations. The wing will be the same design that the team has used all season. There is nothing to suggest that it has deliberately gone about trying something new to exploit the DRS rules. One possibility is that something may have broke on the wing during qualifying, which has triggered the extra gap in DRS. Rival Red Bull, which has had some rear wing headaches in recent races, appeared to suffer its own DRS problems in qualifying, with Verstappen's wing flapping about on the turn 1 entry at the end of Q3. This is something that Verstappen likely felt and triggered the Parc Fermé incident that has prompted his own rules breach. News of Hamilton's investigation erupted on Friday night. A fan video from Parc Fermé immediately after qualifying prompted even more intrigue. In the video, which was widely circulated on social media, Verstappen is seen to be inspecting his rear wing as the top 3 cars are stationary in Parc Fermé. In particular, he appears to be checking out the gap between the DRS elements, potentially to feel if there's a problem or some flexibility. But amazingly, Verstappen then walked over to Hamilton's Mercedes and then conducts a similar check on his rival's rear wing, touching the car. This is in breach of very strict rules that prohibit anyone from touching cars in Parc Fermé conditions in case they attempt to interfere with the machinery. Such a rule is laid down in the International Sporting Code, which is in the FIA's rulebook. Article 2.5.1 states, inside Parc Fermé, only the officials assigned may enter. No operation, checking, turning or repair is allowed unless authorised by some officials or by the applicable regulations. There is little doubt that Verstappen's behaviour breached those rules, but it is not unusual for drivers to inspect machinery, with Sebastian Vettel having been videoed many a time checking out out other teams' cars. Numerous YouTube videos of Vettel in Parc Fermé in the past, including rolling cars forward with his feet to inspect tyres and feeling for wing clearance gaps with his feet, have emerged over the years. While Verstappen's inspection of the Mercedes rear wing did not appear to involve much physical force, so it was unlikely to have altered Hamilton's rear wing that he touched as part of a car that is now subject to a separate FIA inspection, which makes it an extremely delicate situation. Verstappen will now have to explain his behaviour to the FIA stewards in a hearing at 9:30 local time in Brazil on Saturday morning. It's not impossible that both drivers could be excluded for qualifying, which has happened before as the stewards take a hard-line approach. Hamilton's case is perhaps more likely, as if the stewards deem his car was in breach of the technical regulations, then it is an automatic exclusion. In Verstappen's case, the matter is much more subjective, as it will be down to the 4 stewards to make a call on how serious an offence they deem his actions. For although his behaviour was innocuous, the fact that he did touch the exact part of the Mercedes that is under investigation makes the situation far from straightforward. Mercedes could well argue that a simple touch from an outside party could have been enough to dislodge something and trigger the DRS rules breach, even if that theory seems quite far-fetched. With tensions in the title battle heating up in a point situation at a crucial point as Hamilton bids not to lose further ground to Verstappen, the outcome of the stewards in the next few hours could prove more decisive than anything on track this weekend. Anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Don't know your thoughts, comments down below. Follow me on Twitter, then subscribe below for daily F1 news and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.